Title: The Highway That No One Drives Twice, based on terrifying real events. Help this channel grow. Like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more stories. This helps us a lot. Thank you. The story begins. The night route. I never believed in cursed highways until the night I drove the stretch locals call the no-return route. It's a desolate section of asphalt connecting Barstow, California to the Nevada line, technically part of Route 247, but everyone around here just calls it the old road. Truckers avoid it, GPS apps quietly reroute you away from it, and the few who still drive it after dark tend to have one thing in common: they only do it once. It was July 2022. I'd been delivering electronics for a small logistics company, the kind that pays you per mile and doesn't care what time you're on the road. My last drop had run late and I was desperate to get home. The shortest way back was that two-lane desert highway that cuts through nothing but scrub and rock for nearly 50 miles. The sun had dipped behind the hills, and the temperature was dropping fast when I decided to take it. For the first half hour, it was uneventful: empty road, dry wind, faint static on the radio. Then, somewhere past mile marker 17, I saw a flicker of light on the horizon. It looked like the neon sign of a gas station, the kind you'd expect to find on an old postcard. The station appeared out of nowhere, its lone sign buzzing: Quick Mart, open 24 hours. One pump island, one flickering canopy light, and a narrow shop glowing yellow through dust-stained windows. I hadn't seen another vehicle for miles, so I pulled in, more for the sense of company than for gas. When I stepped out, the desert was silent. No crickets, no wind. Even the buzzing from the sign cut out the second I closed my door. Inside, the air smelled of old coffee and cleaning fluid. Behind the counter was a man in a pale uniform that looked 20 years out of date. He didn't say a word, just nodded while I grabbed a drink and a snack. As I turned to pay, I noticed the wall clock behind him was frozen at 2:17 a.m. The second hand was twitching but never moved. Trying to make small talk, I said, "Quiet night?" He looked up, finally speaking. "Quiet every night," he said. "You headed east?" "Yeah, toward the freeway." He stared at me for a long moment. "Don't stop again," he said quietly. "Not till sunrise." The way he said it, not as advice but as warning, made the hairs on my arms rise. I paid, thanked him, and walked back out into the dark. That's when I saw the footprints. They led around my truck, heavy, bare footprints pressed deep into the dust, and stopped right by the passenger door. I shined my phone's light into the cab. Nothing. I told myself they were old prints, maybe from someone else, but the chill in my stomach wouldn't go away. I started the engine and got back on the road. The truck in the mirror. The highway ahead was empty again, black and endless under the stars. My phone had no signal. About 10 minutes later, headlights appeared in my rearview mirror, distant at first, then quickly closing the gap. At 2:40 a.m. the vehicle was right behind me. A white pickup. Old model, dented bumper, one headlight dimmer than the other. It matched my speed exactly: 65, then 70, then 80. Every time I sped up, it stayed the same distance behind me. I thought maybe it was another driver who'd stopped at the Quick Mart, so I flicked my turn signal and pulled slightly to the shoulder to let them pass. Instead, the truck slowed down too. No passing, no honking, just tailing me. After 5 minutes of this, I was shaking. The road signs were unreadable in the dark. There were no towns for miles. Then the truck's high beams flashed twice, blinding bursts, and it honked 3 short times. I gripped the wheel, trying to think rationally. Maybe they were warning me of a flat tire or something wrong with my load. But when I looked at my mirrors again, I saw the driver's silhouette. A man wearing a dark cap, motionless, staring straight ahead. He honked again, 2 short blasts, and then accelerated until his grille nearly touched my bumper. I slammed the gas, heart pounding, watching the speedometer climb past 90. The truck followed, weaving slightly, its lights jerking left and right as if the driver was laughing. Suddenly, it fell back. The lights grew smaller, gone. I exhaled shakily, forcing myself to slow down. My hands were slick with sweat. I told myself maybe he turned off somewhere. But this road didn't have side exits. 10 minutes later, my relief vanished. In the mirror, faint but unmistakable, the same headlights appeared again, farther back this time but moving fast. That's when I knew this wasn't random. The stranger on the shoulder. I was approaching the stretch locals call Black Bend, a curve flanked by cliffs on one side and open desert on the other. As I came around it, my headlights illuminated something on the shoulder, a small red hatchback, hazards blinking. A woman stood next to it, waving both arms. Every instinct screamed at me not to stop, but reflex and decency made me ease off the gas. As I slowed, the white truck's headlights vanished completely behind me. The woman started running toward my lane, shouting something I couldn't make out. Then, from the darkness behind her car, a second figure emerged. A man tall, carrying something long in his hand. I slammed the accelerator, swerving wide to avoid them both. In my mirror, the woman stopped waving. She just stood there as the man moved beside her. Then both turned toward me, illuminated by my taillights for half a second. Faces blank, eyes reflecting red. By the time I looked again, they were gone. My GPS had frozen, the map still showing my vehicle somewhere 20 miles behind where I actually was. The signal bar flickered, then died. My heart wouldn't stop hammering. Somewhere in the distance I could see a faint orange glow. Maybe another station, maybe a diner, and I decided that would be my next stop no matter what. Anything with light and people. But before I got there, the truck returned. The chase. It came out of a side dirt path, spraying gravel as it rejoined the asphalt right behind me. The high beams hit my mirrors like lightning. I floored the pedal. 90. 95. The road twisted and rose slightly, and the truck rammed my rear bumper once, hard enough to jolt my neck. He was trying to push me off the road. I swerved across both lanes, desperate to keep control. The truck honked repeatedly, the sound distorted and animal-like through the thin desert air. Then I noticed something I'll never forget. The driver's door window was rolled down, and there were two arms reaching out. One gripping the wheel, the other waving wildly, but from opposite sides of the seat. There were two people in that cab. At the next bend, I saw a reflective green sign. Rest area, 1 mile. I aimed for it like salvation. The truck stayed right behind me, blinding me with its lights. As I hit the turnoff, I nearly lost control, tires screeching over gravel. The rest area was dimly lit, one sodium lamp flickering over an empty parking lot. I parked sideways under it, jumped out, and ran toward the small brick restroom building. My phone still had no service. The truck skidded into the lot seconds later, its lights cutting across the asphalt. Then for the first time it stopped. Engine idling. The driver's door opened. A man stepped out, tall, wearing that same brown coat I'd seen back in the Quick Mart aisle, the same quivering posture, like his joints didn't bend right. His head twitched once, twice, and he grinned. Then he spoke, voice slurred and dry. "You stopped again." I bolted into the restroom and locked the door. Through the small window I saw the truck still idling. Another figure got out from the passenger side, shorter, hunched, and walked around the back of my truck. I could hear soft tapping against my tailgate. After what felt like 10 minutes, the engine revved and the sound began to fade. I waited another 5 minutes before stepping outside. The parking lot was empty. The only evidence they'd been there were smeared handprints on the side of my vehicle, dark, greasy prints that smelled faintly of gasoline. The morning after. By dawn, I'd made it to the next town, a place called Ridgecrest Junction. I pulled into the first diner I saw and sat at the counter shaking. The waitress noticed immediately. "Rough night?" she asked. "You could say that," I muttered. I came down 247, through the desert. Some maniacs chased me out there. White truck, no plates. Her smile vanished. "You sure about that road? People stopped taking it after what happened in 2019. I frowned. "What happened?" She poured coffee, eyes fixed on the counter. "Two locals, couple of tweakers, were found dead in a wrecked pickup out there. Sheriff said they'd been living in that truck for weeks, luring stranded drivers. Killed 3 people before they crashed into a ravine. They say sometimes folks still see their lights on that road." I wanted to laugh, to deny it. But when I walked back outside, the morning sun hit my tailgate and I saw them again, 2 long, greasy handprints, one larger than the other, still wet. The sheriff's file. When I got home the next evening, I couldn't shake the need for answers. Sleep wasn't an option. The hum of tires and that endless white glare haunted me. So, I did what most terrified people do these days. I started searching online. I typed "White Truck California Desert Chase" and hit enter. Buried among decades-old forums and local Facebook posts, I found it. An archived news clipping from 2019 Ridgecrest Chronicle. 2 unidentified suspects found deceased after high-speed collision on Route 247. Vehicle: white pickup, no license plates. The article included a blurry photo of the crash. The cab was crushed, front end mangled beyond recognition. Authorities had ruled it an accident, but a witness statement caught my eye. Truck seen pursuing another vehicle minutes before the crash. Victim never located. I froze. That was my stretch of road. That was the same truck. The next morning, I drove straight to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's substation near Lucerne Valley. The deputy at the front desk looked younger than the car I drove, but when I mentioned the Quick Mart, his expression changed. "You saw that place open?" he asked. "It's been closed since 2001. Burned down after a break-in. 2 bodies found in the freezer." I didn't know what to say. I told him exactly what had happened. The gas station clerk, the clock stuck at 2:17, the footprints, the chase. He listened without interrupting. Then he opened a worn folder from a drawer marked 247 incidents. Inside were photographs, dashcam stills, reports, interviews. All the same story over different years. Drivers alone after midnight. A white pickup following. A rest area sighting. Some were dated as far back as 1995. "Locals say it's bad luck to stop out there after dark," he said quietly. "Whatever you saw, some say it's copycats. Others think it's something that never left that night." He handed me a photo. The tailgate of a truck, smeared with 2 handprints. The same size, the same pattern. I felt my stomach drop. It matched my own vehicle perfectly. The deputy closed the file and said something I'll never forget. "You made it home. Most people who call about that road, they don't." When I walked out of the station, the desert was glowing under the afternoon sun. Heat shimmered over the blacktop, erasing the horizon. For the first time, the road looked alive, like it was breathing, waiting for the next set of headlights. That night, I parked my truck in the driveway, covered the rear bumper, and never drove after dark again. Some roads don't just take you somewhere, they take something from you when you cross them.